So today we're going to be reacting to the 2025 NBA mock draft from Bleacher Report and player comparisons. I'm going to be just reacting to the lottery. I don't want this to be like a 45-minute long video. As well as that, like, there's no point. It's one of those things where it's like, I feel like when we get closer to the draft, then the whole 2-round thing really matters. But I think there's no point predicting the 27th pick in November. Like, stuff like that it's always crazy. But let's take a look right here. So number 1, the Utah Jazz select Cooper Flagg. And obviously the Jazz record is terrible at the minute. So the Jazz selecting Cooper Flagg, obviously. Pro comparison, Jalen Johnson. That does not bode well for what is considered one of the best draft prospects in a long time. Jalen Johnson. Scouts, coaches, and fans expect Cooper Flagg to consistently deliver easy transition offense, ball movements, and extreme defensive intensity. Wouldn't be surprising if his shooting comes and goes, or he doesn't always look like a polished one-on-one creator, but he's built to impact games regardless of whether or not his shot is falling. And that's the thing that I like about him so much, where I'm like, I feel when it comes to Cooper Flagg that his all-around game is exceptional. I think his floor is really freaking good NBA player. And I can't remember the last time we've had a guy who could come into the NBA at 17 and be a legit rotation starter on 70% of teams. Like LeBron, maybe. Luka would have been. Is that about it? Like, Wemby wouldn't have at 17. But yeah, I'm a huge fan. I don't like the Jalen Johnson comparison, though. Really don't like that one. Number 2, they take Dylan Harper from Rutgers. Have Rutgers played at all yet? I like Dylan Harper, but I don't see yeah, sorry, they won their first game. Dylan Harper, in fairness, he did have 20 points. He had 20, so not bad, I guess, for his first college game. But of the two, I'm like, well, there is a guy that I prefer over both of them, just from pure athleticism standpoint. But I like Ace Bailey a bit more. His comparison, Kobe White, bigger Jalen Brunson, James Harden. Okay. Rebuilding team searching for the lead ball handler, spent a lot of time at Rutgers. Dylan Harper could be a top guard drafted. Yeah, it's going to be between him or Nolan Traore. And again, like, it's funny because he's a lot better offensive. Like, his dad was a defensive specialist. Shooting continues to look more dangerous after combined hit 9 of 17 threes between the All-American Game, Hoop Summit, and Jordan Brand Classic. Like, it's very small sample size. So they got Ace Bailey from Rutgers going at 3. I like Ace Bailey. Like, this is like a more athletic Brandon Miller type player. He's like 6'9", rangy wing who can do a bit of everything. Like, I really like Ace Bailey. I think if anyone's going to take over number 1, it'll be Ace Bailey. But you see, whether Ace Bailey can realistically compete for the number 1 spot on draft boards will come down to his efficiency. Combination of 6'10" wing size. I thought he was, to be fair, 6'9", 6'10", same difference. Some of his jump shot attempts are rushed, so it's difficult to justify, but he also has an incredible ability to separate and drill contested looks from deep pull-ups to tight window step backs and post followaways. Like, it's everything that he does. It's just the way that he puts the ball in the basket. I'm like, it all looks easy. He makes putting the ball in the basket look incredibly easy. Like, he's just so hard to guard. It's so hard to get a contest on his shot. And like, look, at the end of the day, the hardest thing to do is get buckets, and he gets buckets. He gets buckets, like, especially at the top of the draft. That's one of the things. VJ Edgecombe is the most athletic kid I've ever seen. Like, he took off from the free throw line playing for the Bahamas and, like, nearly yammed it on somebody. He was, like, inches away from a free throw line dunk mid-game on somebody for the Bahamas. He is the most athletic kid I've ever seen. And that is no word of lie. He is, like, freak athlete. Pro comparisons, Oladipo, Shade, and Sharp. There usually aren't notable on-court storylines during the summer for incoming college freshmen. VJ Edgecombe had a chance to compete with the Bahamas when he's one of the top performers in a tournament that featured accomplished NBA and international pros. He was incredible. Like, he was better than Eric Gordon a lot of the time for the Bahamas. So a lot of people are going to be like, oh, he's like, whatever, he mightn't be like the best player. Like, Baylor looked awful against they looked absolutely awful against Gonzaga. But VJ Edgecombe got postered the coach's kid so badly he'll probably never see the floor again. I'm so high on Edgecombe just because I'm like, the man is... There are freak athletes. There are guys that are like freak athletes in high school, and then when they go to college, they're elite athletes. He is a freak athlete at the NBA level. He could be like... He's more athletic than Anthony Edwards. I'm telling you, he is... When I watch him play for the Bahamas, he can shoot a little bit. Like, not the best shooter. I mean, he can shoot a little bit. I think he could be really good. Maluach at 5. Okay. Like, he's a 7'2", high-energy, big guy. Why is his pro comparison Alex Sarr? They don't play anything alike. Alex Sarr is a low-motor wing in a post player's body, not a super high motor athletic inside presence that can't shoot a lick. But at the same time, like, Maluach is huge. We saw him playing against America when he was 17. He is I really like him as a player. He'll have a chance to separate himself from the classic vertical threat rim protector prototype with flashes of shooting touch we saw more at junior levels. Measurements of ability to hint at a high floor. A more upside potentially tied to some shot making skill. Maluach figures to remain locked in the lottery discussion throughout the season. You've got Kon Knueppel going 6 over no Nolan Traore yet. Fair enough. The Pistons are not drafting a French point guard. But like 3 Duke players going in the top 6. I don't know. Like, if I was the Raptors, I would not. Who's projected to go 4? The Trailblazers. Fair enough, Trailblazers. If I'm the Raptors, I'm taking Nolan Traore there. Kon Knueppel, like, 6 is very high. 6 is very high for him. I know he shot the lights out in the first half of that game for Duke, but, like, come on. At the same time, though, like, it's a copycat league, and taking the white shooters seems to be working. Like, Dalton Connect was a steal, and I'm sorry, Grady Dick is balling. And, like, the fact that the Magic, every single person had Grady Dick going to the Magic, and they did not take him because they had just taken Anthony Black, and they didn't want to take the meme. There is, like, you cannot convince me otherwise. Like, it was so obvious. Like, every single person, no one thought they were going to take Anthony Black at 6. But then when they take Anthony Black, suddenly the person that they were almost guaranteed to take at 11 in Grady, they don't take because they don't want the meme. Like, you can't tell me otherwise. But, again, he's a long wing, shot the lights out, and to be fair, played very freaking well for Duke. OKC take Tre Johnson. 6'6" shooting guard from Texas. Scouts seen plenty of Tre Johnson. He participated in almost every NBA sanctioned camp, USA basketball. Look at a pro scorer. Johnson does rely on hitting tough shots. And, like, yeah, it's a weird one for OKC. Like, they have to. Like, at some stage, OKC have to just give up on their picks because what can they do with him? I mean that. What can they actually do with him? Because he's like, are they just going to ship him off or something? Like, I'm just trying to think, how is he meant to, like, what are they meant to do with another 7th pick when they already have probably the best team in the entire NBA? But, like, still, he did put up 29 points in his first college game. So, yeah, I mean, I guess 5th ranked player in the top 100 last year. Charlotte Hornets take Nolan Traore. If Nolan Traore falls to 8, that's mental. Like, I really like Nolan Traore. Like, he's a top level pro already, and like, the kid's young. Like, there's a lot of young kids. Like, I think he could have been obviously, like, born in May 2006, so he's gonna be young. Like, he's gonna be 19 starting. Like, he's gonna be 19 finishing his rookie season. He's gonna be one of the youngest players next year, and like, I just can't see him not being a good pro straight away. I think he's being good enough in France. Like this season, he's averaging 12 points a game in the Pro A, which is not an easy thing to do. We've seen Ricochet, we've seen Salone. Salone did a bit worse than Ricochet, but we've seen how well Ricochet is playing. We've seen, like, historically how well the Pro A translates to the NBA as far as their basketball is concerned. I don't really see the Lonzo Ball, because I think Lonzo Ball is a very unique type of player that, had he not been injured, I think would be seen as one of those, like, just winning players. But for Charlotte to get Nolan Traore, because I think he's someone that probably could play with a LaMelo Ball too, it's not a bad pick. Asa Newell at number 9. It's a big for the Pacers. To be fair, they could do it a big. 6'11" with a live motor, Asa Newell should deliver immediate activity around the rim. Developing 3-point stroke and post skills are what will help push him up draft boards. Shot 41% from 3 during 21 games. Like, if he's shooting 41% from 3 as a high motor 6'11" player, obviously you're going to take him in that top 10. But, like, pro comparison, Jalen Smith, not the greatest. And we got Boogie Fland going to the Washington Wizards. It is funny though. Every single one of these freshmen, there's going to be some like upperclassmen or even a sophomore who just has their like breakout. But it's funny, at the start every year in like November, the first mock drafts are literally entirely freshmen. So you got Boogie Fland here as a point guard going to the Washington Wizards. I think it's all going to depend on how Bob Carrington gets on. Like, if Bob Carrington is as good as expected, I don't think they're going to waste their lottery pick on a point guard. But 6'2" in an exhibition, 22 again in an exhibition against Kansas. Quick and shifty, got to his spots. And yeah, like, he could be a solid enough pick there. Then we have got Jalil Bethia. From Miami for the Pelicans. And, like, if you are the Pelicans, you just need shooting. Like, that's really what you need. Like, enough playmaking to see him as a combo guard. It's like, I don't think it's going to matter, really, if you're the Pelicans. Like, you need shooting. You need shooting there, especially if you're going to keep Zion Williamson. Because Misi is going to be their starting center. Like, they've got DeJounte. Like, they do need shooting. To be fair, every team always needs shooting. Colin Murray Boyles. Oh, you know, I'm just saying. Surely for Colin Murray Boyles, surely there's some Irish in him. Like, we're struggling to find naturalized players. Like, surely you can't have the name Colin Murray Boyles and not have some Irish in you. You gotta have some Irish in you, man. Try find of your family. Try compete for us at Eurobasket. Like, you might get us somewhere. You might win us a game. We might beat Luxembourg if you... Well, we already beat Luxembourg. We might beat Kosovo if you play. But, yeah, like, he is... No, he's a serious player. The problem is, again, was not much of a shooter. And, like, didn't go in the draft last year. My whole thing with guys where I'm like, I do feel that any freshman that should be in the lottery should have went for last year's draft. I think they all should have. And there is Ben Saraf, who I actually have not watched any of them play, to be honest. I have not watched him at all. I would have, if you're talking about European players after Nolan Traore, like, the player that I probably looked at most has been Hugo Gonzalez. But he isn't slowing down. He continues to score efficiently. How is he getting on in... Because, like, to be fair, like, Ratio Farm plays so many young players. Like, that is that's the one thing, is that they have a lot of really, really good young players. I just want to see how he's getting on in in Germany. So he's playing Euro Cup for them. He's averaging 50 in a game in Euro Cup. Wow. Oh, and he's young as well. He's really young. Okay, no, these are serious numbers. These are serious numbers. I need to watch a little bit more on him. Comparisons, Manu Ginobili. Can they not? I get it, he's not European, he's Argentinian, but, like, it's definitely a lazy comparison. His athletic limitation shows on drives and forced to attempt contested low percentage layups. but he does get at the rim at a good rate. And then you've got Drake Powell going to the Orlando Magic via Denver. And the Orlando Magic have really struggled. This is a few days ago. Obviously, Denver won 2 games in a row. But the Magic have really, really struggled since what's his name went down. Since Banchero went down. But again, Herb Jones, Will Barton. So you've got spark plug and lockdown defensive player. Okay, bit weird comparisons. So they've got Demon going above Hugo Gonzalez. Where do they have Hugo Gonzalez going? They have him going 18. He's like, I would call him Manu. Hey, pro comparison, Jonathan Kuminga. Cool. But that's the thing where it's like Real Madrid are an NBA team, and he's obviously not getting burned for them, which is not the ideal situation. But when he was playing at youth basketball, he's just a bucket. But yeah, that is the lottery. As far as like the top go, like we all kind of know, this is the top of this draft is gonna be really good. Like if I was a fan of a team in the lottery, this could be one of those drafts where it's like if you get pick 1 or you get pick 5, it really may not matter. Because look, if you lose out on Cooper Flagg and Dylan Harper and suddenly you land Ace Bailey, you should be happy. If you land Traore, you should be happy. If you land VJ Edgecombe, if you're a fan of dunking, you're really freaking happy. But yeah, that is pretty much it. So yeah, that is the mock draft.